have myself, Alderman Dave Menig, Alderman Chris Weary, Alderman Andy Nicholson, and John Bagley's will be back. First item is approval of minutes.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
And a second from Alderman Weary. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections?
I'm wondering if we could just maybe take out of order, Mr. Chairman. I want to just introduce our two new employees
Okay,
so that they don't sit through the whole meeting if they could.
okay, let's do it.
Okay. Brittany, you want to come up here? Brittany Navarre is our new employee at Bay Beach. She's our new special facilities assistant. Brittany, you want to just say a few words?
Sure. I've worked out at Bay Beach in multiple programs since 1999 for the Park and Rec department as well as Triangle Sports area. And then this year I got full-time up there, so very excited.
Yes, welcome aboard.
Thank
You
you.
bet. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
We also have another new employee. Her name is Corey Mim. She's the new senior landscape architect.
She here?
Yep, she's right here.
Oh,
Okay. Say a few
Okay.
sentences.
Yes, hi. I'm very excited to be here. I think parks are some of the most important and fun assets within communities, and so I'm really excited about the new projects coming up and being able to be a part of those in those areas. So, thanks.
Very good. Welcome aboard.
Okay.
Got a question, Donnie.
Yep.
With new employees in the park department, do you generally have them introduce themselves?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to say that's a good idea because
Mhm.
I know in the law office, I know Joe Falls, but I don't believe I know the other city attorney. And I wish, this would be more common.
Okay.
That's all, but I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Because then if I see them out in public, at least, I have an idea. And that's important.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Good
You're
point.
welcome.
Good point. Okay, anything else on the agenda before we adopt it?
Nope.
Okay, motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Okay, made by Alderman Nicholson, seconded by Alderman Weary. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. First item is consideration with possible action on the request by Black Lives United to host a BLU Christmas special event on Saturday, December 3rd, 2016, from 1 to 6 p.m. at the Wildlife Sanctuary.
Okay, this is a joint event between Elevation Church, Black Lives United, the Green Bay Police and Fire Department, and the Wildlife Sanctuary. The event will charge $3 per person, consist of Christmas music, food, activities, performances by Wisco Kids, with police and fire equipment displays. All proceeds go directly to Adopt a Family initiative. No alcoholic beverages will be permitted. The Black Lives United will be responsible for all food and drinks. One of the issues with this is usually when we bring events to you, they have to have council approval too. Their event is this Saturday, so they're asking that this event could still happen Saturday and proceed without the final council approval, which would have been Tuesday night. We're okay with that. We think the event is well organized, that it should be a good event.
Are there any contingencies recommended?
Yes, there are. We would have to do all proper permits and insurances being obtained. No alcoholic beverages would be permitted. Event organizer would be responsible for all cleanup and security. All costs are the responsibility of Black Lives United. And final approval of the city special event committee.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Vanderleest.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Weary to approve the request. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
You good?
So,
Good luck.
good luck.
Thank you everyone. I'll leave some flyers over there in the corner.
That sounds good. Try to get there. Second item, consideration with possible action on the request by the Oak Grove Neighborhood Association to donate a trail map kiosk at Sullivan Park School. Donnie?
Okay.
Thank you.
They received a Green Bay Leadership Council grant to construct and place a trail sign at Sullivan Park adjacent to the new trail that was just recently installed. The sign would show various connections of Sullivan, East River, Bear Creek, and Fox River Trail. A neighborhood resident would construct the sign, park staff would coordinate with the neighborhood association on the final design and location and of the kiosks. The Parks Department will also create and supply the map to go inside. Dan Pino is here tonight, if you would wish him to speak.
Okay, is there a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved.
Okay. Motion by Alderman Nicholson, seconded by Alderman Weary. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Dan.
Well, hopefully we have the votes. And as a former mayor and state senator, I always subscribe to the notion that if you have the votes, you can shut up. But I'd be happy to respond to any questions. It's been a pleasure working with the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department on this project. It's a small project, but an important one for the neighborhood. And Dan has been very helpful in guiding us through the process, so we hope that you approve the project for us.
Right, this is in my district, but very close to Alderman Nicholson's, and we were both supportive of this one. It's coming before, and it's a really nice trail extension that connects the neighborhood to the other
Right.
trails. So, I'll move to approve.
Second.
With contingencies?
No?
No contingencies, okay.
Well, yeah, hang on a second. All costs are the responsibility of Oak Grove Neighborhood Association and park staff. Final approval of design and location.
Okay, so we have a motion. And
Second.
Okay, and a second by Alderman Weary to approve. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Good.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you very much.
I'll see you soon.
Have a good night, Dan.
Okay, number 3, report of the purchasing manager.
The request before you is to approve the purchase of a bleacher system from JW Industries for $14,765. This is for Edison Junior High baseball field. We received 3 bids, and we're recommending the award to the low bidder.
Okay, have any questions? Okay,
Motion to approve.
motion made by Alderman Vandally, seconded by Alderman Weary to approve. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, you're approved. Thanks, Rick. Okay, now we get to the big item on our agenda. Consideration with possible action on the review of Colburn pool bids project budget.
Your excuse.
Yesterday was the bid opening for the bids, and I guess I'll let the staff discuss it.
Okay, I'm going to take you back a little bit, and then we'll get into the bidding part, just so everybody's on the same page, and it's part of the record. On May 3rd, 2016, the City Council directed the staff to prepare documents for a 50-meter pool at Colburn with 7 deducts, possible deducts. Those possible deducts were a smaller, zero-depth surface area, removing the current channel, removing the 25-yard bump out, the drop slide, the climbing wall, or removing the toys and activities in zero-depth area, or removing the 1-meter diving board. As you all know, the current budget for this project is $4.5 million. We bonded $3.5. $1 million was raised by the Friends of Colburn Pool. To date, the city has spent $285,000 to complete the engineering bid documents. That leaves us $4,215,000 to complete this project. At that time, the project was approved. The consultant stated that this pool would probably cost us about $6.2 million. The Park Committee and the City Council directed the staff at that time to go ahead and bid it out, even though the engineer's estimate was higher than the current budget that we had to pay for it. The project was bid out, so nearly all equipment and furnishings were included in the bid. There are only a few items that remained that were not put in the bid. They are: we would need $95,000 to hire the engineer for the second phase. We knew that from the beginning. We only hired for the first phase of the pool. We would need $30,000 for removing some of the asbestos and what was the other one?
Lead paint.
Lead paint that would have to be removed. We would add $25,000 for soil testing and material testing, $20,000 to install the fiber optic cables to the computers, and $15,000 which would include the donor sign and signage for the pool. That comes up to $185,000 of total additional cost. In addition, a 10% contingency should be added to the construction for potential change orders that might occur during this construction process. In order to keep the cost down as low as possible, the bid documents specified our contractor-friendly construction schedule. We proposed that demolition would begin in January of 2017, and the new pool would be completed by November 1st, 2017. If the bid is approved, Coburn Pool would not be open for operation in 2017. It would be under construction during the whole pool season. We did put, as you remember, the existing Coburn budget is in the pool for this year, just so that you're aware of that as well. At this time, I'm going to ask Director Grenier to come up and present the bids, or review the bids with you.
Okay, at the Improvement Services Committee earlier, we got a handout that showed the 5 bids that the city received from major contractors in the area. Steve, do you want to walk us through it?
Sure, it's pretty straightforward. As Donnie indicated, we had a base bid with 7 alternates, and the way that these are administered is you don't consider the alternates as part of the evaluation of the base bid for determination of the low responsive contractor. We have to look solely at the base bid. That determines who our low contractor is. Then we determine whether or not we want to apply any of the alternates. So going off of the base bids, we had 5 bidders. Myron Construction in Neenah was the low responsive bidder at a total cost of $5,829,217. Howard Immel was at $5,997,330. SMA Construction Services, $6,039,500. IEI General Contractors, $6,204,757. And Oscar Bolt Construction was the high bid at $6,257,000 even. Taking a look at the alternates that were in here, I think if you take a look at the prices that the contractors showed for the alt bids, both the base bid and the alternate bids represent a very, very narrow span between high and low bids. What that tells me is all 5 of these contractors interpreted the bid documents the same way, and there was no lack of clarity. So they were all very clear on what they were bidding on. So the bracket was very tight, and considering where the engineer's estimate was, the fact that these numbers came in as low as they did, I think that's the result of both a very favorable bidding climate and the way that the bids were put together, providing the maximum amount of time and flexibility for the contractor to get the work completed, and the fact that we gave them the bidding window that we did. We extended our typical bidding window by a week to give them adequate time to review these documents and make sure that they could put the best proposal forward that they could. So we were satisfied based on the results of what we saw come back at the bid opening, that we had a very solid bid package put out in front of the contractors.
Are there questions by the committee?
If you refer to this page that we handed out, I just want to walk you through this a little bit so you can actually see some numbers that we're talking about. So as Steve has indicated, the low base bid was $5,829,217. We are going to propose to you to deduct alternate number 5, which is the climbing wall. And the reason for that is that it will be in the view of competitive swimming. It's something that's going to stick out, and we won't be able to watch the swimmers with that wall there. So that would be a deduct of $69,680. That puts our new total bid award at $5,759,537. And you can see as you go down the line with me here, we added the 10% contingency. We added the other costs that I just talked to you about, the 95,000, the 30, the 25, the 20, and the 15, which puts the total funding needed to complete this pool at $6,520,537. Of that, as you know, we have $4,215,000, which means we are short $2,305,537.
Okay, any questions by,
Oh, no, sorry.
oh, who did?
Bill, did you need something restated? Sorry.
There's some interference overhead. What's the final number?
What do you know?
Well,
He's fuzzy on the numbers.
The final number for the pool is $6,520,537.
That's if the committee
If
agrees
They
to
would agree to.
delete alternate 5, which is the climbing wall.
Thank you.
Right.
Right. So basically 2.3 million over what we have funding available. Okay, I know there are people in the audience that want to speak.
Make a motion to open up the floor for
Yeah.
interested
Okay, we have
parties.
a motion.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Weary to open the floor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we are open. Now, we do have some sign-in sheets that we, I don't know where they are. Okay, that we would ask people, if you want to speak to the committee on this item, to fill out a sign-in sheet so we get your name spelled right and your address for the record. So, does anybody want those right now? No? Anybody want to address the committee? No? Oh, okay, we do have someone in the back, okay. Yeah, okay, come on forward. Yeah.
Elise Lasecki, 1509 Beltane Circle, and a member of the board of the Green Bay Swim Club, who is the club that swims at Southwest Coburn Resch during the summer and Southwest in the winter. I agree with Donnie with the removal of the rock wall, the climbing wall. That was an issue that we had from the beginning. This pool is such an important part of that community. I grew up in that community. I grew up on 9th Street. I lived on Beaver Dam Drive for 17 years before we moved to Beltane Circle. And I just think it's such an important piece of that area that, is really losing a lot of business and losing a lot of the neighborhood feel that it once had. So it is the last 50-meter pool in Green Bay. Thank you, Chris, for all you've done. So I hope that you consider this bid. And going forward, we maybe can reduce some costs somewhere and get the project done. Thank you.
Well, in total, the alternative deducts that are in here to add them up, would be about $421,139. So it's even if we took all of them out, it'd still be quite a ways away from the money that we have available right now. So,
Thank you.
okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, then let's have a discussion by the. Let's close the floor.
Move to close the floor.
Motion by Alderman Weary, second by Alderman Nicholson to close the floor. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, discussion. Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Obviously, this issue, this topic's been ongoing for, I don't know, a decade, and fervently for the last 5-6 years as far as, replacing it and forming the Friends of Colburn Pool. They've worked so passionately on this in the community, putting that $1 million goal, when that was first put forward, it looked impossible, and it looked like something that was going to be a deal breaker, but we bared down, and through the grace of God and a lot of fortunate people, a lot of giving people in the community, we raised it. Now that did delay things a year because the initial designer, thought the pool would cost $4.5 million to maybe $5 million, and it delayed it a year to fundraise. And then when we were ready to move forward again, of course, the whole debacle with Tundra Lives came up, you know, in their so-called designs to build their own pool, and they still haven't built one. That cost us another year. And as we know now, those past 2 years, construction costs have gone up. It's interesting to note Appleton, their herb pool, you know, Olympic-sized pool, they needed it replaced. They just decided as a community and a council to rebuild it. You don't have to go fundraising and fooling around with all these things and wasting time. They just borrowed it, planned it, and they're doing it. I think it's a $10 million project or more. So and it's such a positive thing, and that's what this is. It's a positive parks are a positive community building thing, and it should be that way. So I really think we can find a way to do this. I've had a communication in, I think, a request to use some of that stadium tax money for like over a year now. And so I think we could use some of that. We have, I think, $1.5, $1.8 million in infrastructure money that we could use. So I'd be fine with using some of that and then bonding for the rest. Moving this forward, we'll have some savings for not having it open next year, whether that's 60 or 70,000, 80,000, somewhere in there. Okay. So a little bit of a savings there by not being open. But I think where there's a will, there's a way. We have a commitment to the community, all the people who gave money towards an Olympic-sized pool. And I'd like to hear everybody's ideas, but that's my thoughts.
Okay, other discussion? John?
My discussion would be that quite a bit over budget. I think we have to take a closer look at with the council to actually decide to move ahead on this project before we can move ahead on this project. Almost $2 million over budget. I think it was set up that was 4.5, maybe 5 million. But the cost is high, and I feel that, you know, we're going to need more discussion. We're going to have to find some alternatives where we're going to come up with this extra money. And that would be my sentiment, that, you know, we'll have to do further discussion. In other words, I wouldn't be able to get my approval tonight on this.
Okay, other discussion, Chris?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would again point out that if we had built this pool 2 years ago, the cost would have been in that 4.5 to 5 million range, but it was the office down the hall and certain members on council who have delayed it by demanding fundraising and looking at an option that wasn't even real. So the numbers are inflated because of nothing that the community or the Friends group has done. And they are what they are. I think we move ahead with it and see to our commitment. Otherwise, I've stated before, you will never get another Friends group to fundraise money if you're going to pull the rug out. You won't. Because they'll see what happened to Colburn, and they'll say, we're not going to raise money for anything. I don't know if it's appropriate here to make the motion on funding, but and to refer it, or how we would do it, Mr. Chairman. But
Well, let's discuss it a little bit more. You know, it seems to me that it really doesn't matter what happened in the past. You know, we can say, well, it would have cost less if we had done things differently, or what have you. You know, I think everybody recognizes the effort that Friends of Colburn Pool made here, but it's really a case now of looking at, you know, what do we do with this? We had 5 bids here. I don't think we're going to get any better bids. You know, there can be discussion about taking some of these deducts out, but yeah, the net effect still is that we're considerably over the budget we had set. The commitment the council had made was that, you know, if the private sector, private group raised $1 million, the city would contribute 3.5. And that's the extent of the city's commitment at this point. You know, I know that it's a subject that we're going to have to discuss with the whole council. You know, I think there was some wishful thinking by a lot of council members, and by, you know, by some of the citizens who were involved, that if we bid this thing out, that we're going to get better bids that might be within the budget, but that didn't happen. So I think we've got to be realistic about it at this point. I think we got really 3 options. We either find the extra 2.3 million that's necessary. We find, you know, look at something somewhere in between, maybe rebidding it again with a smaller project. Now, the problem with that is that when you try to reduce to that extent, you're not going to have a 50-meter pool anymore, I don't think. And, you know, then is it really going to serve the needs of the people that have been speaking for the committee all along? And then the third alternative would just be to scrap it. Now, that isn't a perfect solution either, because, you know, city's got $285,000 into engineering costs at this point. We already bonded $3.5 million, and there was cost to issue that debt. So it's not a perfect situation by any means. You know, I guess it's not just a discussion for our committee, but I'm sure the whole council will want to discuss this and how to proceed. And maybe we want to just, you know, like the finance committee did with the excess stadium money proposals. They just referred it to the council to consider it as a group without making a specific recommendation. I don't know if we want to do that. I know that my colleagues haven't seen this until they walked in the room tonight. But I think that's an option. Send it to the council and let the whole council discuss it. Andy?
Dave, I feel that's the only option. This has to go to the city council. They have to look at it. We're going to have to decide as all 12 and with the mayor. So my advice is to move this forward to the city council, and we will discuss it there with all the concerns and questions and finances, and have the public represented and hash it out there.
I want to make it known that I don't oppose the pool, but I'm opposing the cost at this time and how we're going to finance it. If the pool has to be scaled back, so be it.
Yeah. We should also be aware going into this that in the budget for next year, the 2017 budget, there was very little capital equipment, replacement equipment that was put into the budget. And almost all of the major capital equipment was indicated that it would be considered for bonding next year. And I did get a figure on that. It adds up to about $1.7 million of bonding that may be anticipated just for equipment replacement next year. So got to keep that in mind as well when we look ahead on this. Plus other costs like we typically have for capital improvements in bonding. So, you know, those are all factors. Do any of the council members that are here have thoughts, comments? Barb?
I think that it's appropriate to take this to the council as a whole, to talk about it. I don't know what else we could possibly do. Everyone is going to want to weigh in on this, so I think that would be a very good decision.
Yeah. Mark?
Thank you, Chair. I concur as well. This has been a lengthy project, and I think everybody knows, you know, this 2-year delay, you know, all the different things that have come into play. I still feel that we can make this thing work somehow, but I would like to have that discussed at council, and I think we'll look at it fairly. So that's my point.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I would agree. This is a discussion that will happen at council no matter what we do here. So I think it's appropriate we send it to council for discussion and action. We need to move on it.
Okay. There, a motion?
Yes, I would make a
Second.
motion to approve the pool. We were too quick. Now, to send this to council for full consideration by the council.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alderman Weary, seconded by Alderman Nicholson, to refer this matter to the full city council for discussion at that level. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you very much. Director's report, number 5.
Our fall tree planting is completed. We planted 356 trees this fall. 900 stumps were removed this year. Right now, the east side crew is working in the Wilder Park area, and the west side crew is moving around, catching up on all of the high priority areas there. At Arnie Wolf, our city firefighters volunteered to install the asphalt shingle roof for the concession stand, and the soccer group purchased the interior, exterior materials needed to finish the building, such as the windows, the siding, and the soffits. Our city police officers raised money and fundraised for the installation of landscape bulbs Boulder Memorial plaque at Brisk Park, along with converting over a Spring Rider, which was a little motorcycle that looks like one of our police motorcycles now, as part of our playground equipment, and that was also at Brisk Park. The seating area at Navarino is now completed, the new walk at Seymour is completed, the stage at Whitney Park is completed. Staff is currently preparing for ice and hockey rinks, and that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to receive and place on file.
Okay. Okay, motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Vandelis to receive the report and place on file. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Weary to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we are adjourned.
Thank you.